My secret, just do something that ain't nobody ever done before, but make it sound like something that's always been there forever.
Welcome to This Filipino American Life, a podcast that explores the nuanced experiences of Filipinos in the United States at iba pa. My name is Ryan Carpio, and I'm joined by my hosts,
Joe Bernardo,
Elaine Delalis,
and Mike.
Yes.
Pew, 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 pew. I'm not ready. Hold on. Sorry. There you go.
That was just right on time.
Those were air horns.
We should get real air horns next time.
So you can annoy your neighbors. They'll be like, what's happening?
Blow out everyone's ears.
We'll have like vuvuzelas next.
Those are fun.
Or the ones from Australia. Did you do? Wow, wow, wow.
What is happening right now?
Oh my gosh, we are high on life.
And coffee and munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts.
And diet shakes.
Please sponsor us.
Mini donuts.
Mini donuts.
We're doing some acknowledgements. TFALs?
TFALs?
Ooh.
The TFAL of the episode is May Ruiz.
What?
Do you know May Ruiz?
I know a June Ruiz.
I know in April
April?
Ruiz. And August Ruiz. We really don't. May, thank you so much for being our TFAL.
Yes.
Wait, do we know May?
I know a February Ruiz.
I was like, oh, I think I know January.
Just name all of the months.
I know a white lady named September, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she born in September?
I think she was. She asked her.
Is she a yoga teacher?
She drink pumpkin
I
spice lattes. We're bad.
I played cards with her. I know your name's September. She's like,
Did
yep.
you take her money?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
she took your money.
Does she remember?
The 21st night of September.
Yeah.
This is too much. All right. So May, thank you so much for being our TPAL of the episode. That's awesome.
Yay. And remember, if you want to also be a TPAL, you can by being a Patreon. Our information is patreon.com/TFAL podcast. And sponsor us once a month with your lovely donations. You can give us one doll hair or give us as many doll hairs as you would like monthly.
Hey, how about if people don't want to do it monthly? Is there another option?
Yeah, the other option is you can buy us a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
ko-fi.com/This Filipino American Life and buy us a cup of coffee for as little as $3.
Cool. All right.
So no Starbucks or Coffee Bean or
No.
Pete's
Just
Blue Bottle.
coffee.
It's Kofi. Okay.
What are we talking about today?
It's your episode, dude.
Today?
Hey, Ryan, what are we talking about?
Oh, that's
today?
right. Sorry. Usually I'm like, I'm curious. We are talking about Filipino and Filipino American slang.
What's that?
Slang.
Slang.
Slang?
You know, like slang words.
Oh, I only know American slang, so I'm very curious. What's Filipino slang?
Well, I'm curious about like the growing up kind of here and being born in the Philippines. I've heard some Filipino slang, and I don't know how it gets carried on over here, but also some revelations of words that I thought were real words growing up or actually slang words. So I thought maybe we can talk about that, and some of the Filipino American slang that I know we probably grew up with as well. The differences in growing up in Southern California, for example, and I'm curious about anyone else in the United States if their slang is different or the same. But I thought I'd start with like Filipino slang growing up, and I left when I was 7, so a lot of those words I thought were actually real. But there's common words in the Filipino like kind of lexicon in the slang words that's backwards, like talking backwards.
Like my parents call police lespo.
Do they? Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually that.
And how do you say male in Tagalog?
Male?
Male? Sulat.
Sulat. So they call it latsu.
Ah.
So my parents always would do things backwards.
Yeah.
Well, so it's a form of like we call it tadbalik, right, or baliktad, which means
yeah.
backwards.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So even my brother's name, his name is Paulo.
Lopao.
No, actually,
Siopao?
it's even more extensive than that. But we call him Bolbap because it's like Pablo. Bolbap. Yeah, it's like it's just a. I know. It's a weird thing. But even names get slangified, if that's such a word.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
want to talk to a linguist because I want to know where that came from.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, but fun. You
Yeah.
know, like I think it's a term of endearment, right? When you use it in names, but in regular language as well. I think Filipinos, and I don't know if it's different now, but my sister and I still talk backwards words, right? So. But I don't know. I'm curious about you guys and your experiences with Filipino slang. Is it kind of confusing? I don't know about you, Elaine, but
Well, like for me, when somebody would ask like, "Oh, you want to go get the mail?" and I used to say things like, "Oh yeah, let's go get the latsu," and people would be like, "What is latsu?" and I'm like, "It's mail," because that's what my parents would call mail.
Right.
And then my aunt was like, "It's sulat," and I'm like, "Oh, well then my parents have been teaching me the wrong things." My entire life.
Right.
Good job, mom and dad.
I've heard of jeprox. So
Okay.
jeprox is what like kind of slang, Tagalog slang.
Isn't it food?
Yes. No.
Just
I'm
kidding.
like, is it Jeff Rocks?
No.
Jeprox
It's
it's like a
it's
it's
an-
like underground kind of rebelliousness, I guess, or but it comes from the word projects,
Right.
which is like projects in the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
but
You're,
then
like,
when it comes to
blowing my mind.
when it came to America, it became Jeff Rocks
Yeah.
with an F and an
Yeah.
X, and
Oh my
that became a
God.
gang in Southern California.
Yeah, that's what
But I thought it was also that street food, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
also
it's all crispy
eel,
fish.
crispy eel,
Yeah.
Jeff Rocks.
I didn't know that either.
But it comes from projects.
That's a good one.
My mind is exploding.
that is like level 3. Like level 1 is like airmats, airpods. You know what
What's
airmats and
airmats?
airmats and airpods?
What's that?
Mater and pater. Your mom and dad.
Oh.
So when you say, oh, how's your mom, or kumusta airmats mo? How's your mom?
Oh.
Comes from mother and father.
Yeah.
But airmats, airpods. Mike's like,
Mike's
what?
like, what?
It doesn't help that my parents never spoke Tagalog really, so
Ah.
Oh, really?
because they're Ilonggos.
Oh, I
so,
see. I see.
something else. But yeah,
I also think it. I'm not gonna conjecture, or I am conjecturing, but I think it came from, like, it started in the 60s or 70s. I think because my parents don't even use it, and they're a little older. But your parents use it, and they're a little younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess it's
Generational.
It's generational.
Like slang's generational.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of curious too, like what's new out there, because like I still, I still use, like with some friends, astig. Do you guys know what astig means?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What does it
What does it
mean?
mean?
Oh, it's like cool or yeah.
Or hard.
Yeah.
Like hardcore.
Hard. It
Yeah.
comes from tigas.
Yeah, which means hard.
Oh my god. No one can see me right now, but my eyes are very big and I'm going, oh my god, that makes complete sense.
So astig means that's hard, that's
Right.
cool, yeah. But it comes from tigas, which
Yeah.
actually means hard.
Which means, yeah, oh my god, my brain is exploding.
So I have a kind of a funny story. So there is a Filipino movie that there's like a preview of this Filipino horror movie, and my brother and I were watching it, and they were talking about like El Diablo, right? Like the devil, right? But the announcer, the Filipino announcer, keeps saying it in a very Filipino accent, and they would feature like the name Jablo, right? And then they would do a little bit of a thing and goes Jablo. And I look at my brother, I'm like, hey, what's tadbalik or Jablo? I'm like,
is
oh,
it?
this movie's crazy.
What is it, Ryan?
I don't know.
What is it?
I don't remember. Anyway, moving on.
Blow job.
Oh man, sorry kids. That's just tadbalik for Jablo.
Blow job.
Anyway, so I'm always curious about language and
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun to think about and how the etymology of these words have come about. And
Well, it's funny too because like where our parents from dictates like the language and like the words that they'll use, right? So when I was a kid, my parents use blanket, like this isn't slang, it's just words, like they call blanket habol.
Habol?
Because in Bisaya, habol means blanket, but in Tagalog, habol means like to hurry, right?
Yeah.
Like, to chase. And so when I was a kid and I slept over at my best friend's house, my Jens asked me, Elaine, do you want a kumot? And I didn't know what kumot was because my parents never used the word, and kumot's Tagalog for blanket. But my 11-year-old brain heard kugmo, and kugmo in my parents means booger. And so when she asked me, do you want a kumot? And I heard kugmo, I was like, why is Jen asking me if I want her boogers? And so I was like, no. And then she's like, Elaine, you're like shaking. Don't you want a blanket? I'm like, oh, yes, I want a habol. And then Jen was like, what? And we both had the miscommunication because my parents spoke Bisaya at home and then her parents speak Tagalog. So I wonder if that's another thing with slang, like how we baliktad it and whatnot. And it's also because we all speak different languages.
It's true.
So by doing that, it's a way of creating one language amongst each other.
Yeah. And it's not unique to, of course, Filipinos. I just think ours is a lot funnier.
Yeah, I think slang comes from rebelliousness. It comes from people trying to create their own kind of hidden codes, hidden language.
Right.
I think some of the new ones I've heard that came out are Lodi. Ever heard of Lodi?
What's that?
So it's like
Sounds like my
idol,
sister-in-law.
idol backwards. Oh, si idol,
Oh yeah.
si Lodi,
Oh.
and what's Pet Malu comes from lumapit. Yeah,
Oh.
I think
So
so.
it's
Yeah.
far?
Lumapit, or is it lumapit? Or,
I don't know.
Yeah. Shoot, no, I gotta look that up.
Because we used to say todits.
What's that?
Dito, come here.
Oh.
Halika todits, come here. It's here. Dito means here. Right?
Yeah. It feels like people just want to complicate things.
But it is.
Sorry, not malapit. It's malupit,
Oh,
which
okay.
means
What's malupit? Offensive? No.
what does malupit mean?
Malupit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It was like fiercely
I'm like,
Googling.
what? I'll let you guys do that. But
Yeah, cruel. To be mean.
Yeah.
Malupit. Yeah.
but that's all Filipino. So what would be Filipino American slang? Is
that's
just
what I'm curious about.
So I've
What do you think?
I remember there's a few uniquely Filipino American things.
Like
Like
what?
slang. Well, obviously there's Pinoy and Flip.
Okay.
Right. Those are things. Have you heard of Daly City High School?
I mean, is it a real high school?
No, it's not. What is it?
Pusoy dos related.
Yeah.
Wait, what is okay?
All right. So
Explain.
I didn't understand this at all. If you've ever played Pusoy Dos, it was a very popular game in the late '80s, early '90s. If you ever grew up playing cards, Pusoy Dos has rankings of the suits.
It's like Filipino poker with 13 cards,
Right.
A hand, or
and
whatever.
and there's different versions on how you do the suits.
Yeah.
So people usually ask, "Oh, what are we playing? Are we playing
A Diamond
Daly City High School?
What is Daly City High School?
Or are we playing another
regular
version?
kind.
A regular
kind.
kind.
So what
Yeah.
is Daly City High School?
So Daly City High School is diamonds, clubs, hearts.
Spades.
this is wrong. All of that is wrong. That's the wrong way. It's supposed to be diamonds, hearts, spades, clubs.
Yes.
That's regular.
Yeah, that's how they play it in the Philippines. But they play in China, Big Two. They play
The Daly City
High School. And then
Well,
so Fil-Ams from the Bay starts using Daly City High School as the acronym.
oh, they're wrong. But yes.
I only learned that actually in college. I was like, Daly City. I'm like, I kept going, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I learned in college when I had more Bay Area friends. Yeah.
That's a
You
good
know
one.
what? I don't think I learned it as Daly City High School, but I do remember someone saying that, how you're going to play.
Oh,
And I
okay.
remember thinking, why would that be higher? I was like, no, wrong. Let's play it the regular way.
Right.
So there's also Manila Mesa.
Oh, for Mira Mesa
For Mira
in San
Mesa,
Diego?
right?
Yes, I do know where
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of slang, right? There's Serra Manila Mall, which is for
What is that?
Cermonte.
Cermonte.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Ceremony.
Ceremony.
Yos.
For Yossi, for cigarettes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that used to be huge in high school. Like
That was
even
so big.
non-Filipinos, like a lot
Well, you
of
know
my
where it comes
Korean
from.
friends. Comes from cigarillos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's also
cigarillos.
tadbalik.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
No,
I knew
I
that
just
one.
thought
for
it was
sure.
like some word I just didn't know, but people would use all the time. But
So
it's
yeah,
alright.
it would be Yossi to a lot of Filipinos, but then Filipino Americans, you would say Yos.
Yos. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then like I remember this white girl said to this other guy, "Hey, do you have a Yos?" I was like, "That sounds weird." I'm also dating myself, but what about 5254?
Oh, that's not slang. That's
What is
love.
that?
That's love.
What's 525?
Mahal na mahal kita, Elaine. Jeez.
And pager code.
We're getting into pager code.
Pager code.
I was like,
525.
I didn't know. I just knew like 637, 143.
Always and
83.
forever? What? What is this? Is that right?
Eight, yeah, always and forever.
5254.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the Filipino one.
I didn't know that one.
Mahal na
Sorry.
mahal kita.
Oh my god.
So,
Oh my god.
so this is hard to translate in like over audio.
Yeah.
But my uncle used to have a joke.
I'm embracing myself.
He would say, "Oh, there's this one Filipino guy who was applying for citizenship, and he put on his height. He put on his height 5254.
Uh-huh.
And then when the citizenship officer went, 'Why do you have 5254?" My uncle said, he would say, "'Cause when I stand, I limp, and I go pipe 2, pipe 4, pipe 2, pipe 4." So as he's walking, he's limping, and his height changes. So anyways,
That's the best
Oh, my
stupid
goodness.
dumb joke ever.
it's better it's done visually.
No, but
Yeah.
even then, you didn't even need to do the visual. I still got it.
Some things that maybe I guess I've heard growing up was arato. Have you heard that?
No.
No. I mean, it's like, all right.
Ah,
Rato.
No,
That's a
I
weird
don't know
one.
that.
I don't know.
That's Filipino American, like more here, right?
Yeah. And kickback crew.
I mean, it's that, yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's uniquely
I don't think
Filipino,
that's
right?
uniquely Filipino.
Yeah.
Like, is it a party or a kickback?
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
heard that. It's like, what the hell?
I've heard
Kickback.
that.
Oh, okay.
Did you have nicknames for white people?
Like-
puti.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my family would always be like when we were in the mall or something. It'd be like, "Oh yeah, look at that puti person over there," and it would. I just knew it. Like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And then like, I could think I turned it into like pooters.
Yeah, pooter. That used to be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I always say like, "Oh, look at those pooters over there,"
Yeah.
and that wouldn't be with my family. That would be like
With
just like my friends. Yeah.
Pooters. In high school, some people said potato for white person.
I did not say potato.
But I actually, I use pooter all the
Pooter,
time
yeah.
now.
I'm curious. Well, Mike, do you have any slang?
No, that's why it's so fascinating to me.
Mike's just.
But
like,
I've heard these
looking-
words like floating around, and like I didn't realize there was origins to it other than
Yeah.
like, it's interesting.
Yeah, because when we were saying we were going to talk about slang, I was like, oh, like how the Bay Area people just say hella, but that's not uniquely Filipino.
No.
Yeah.
it's
That's
not
just
usually-
that. Or like how people in the valley,
Say like all the
oh,
time,
well,
or-
not just like, but we, because in college, I would be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a grip of these things. A
Oh,
grip.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Bay Area people did not understand what grip was.
San Diego people use grip a lot.
Now, yeah,
That's
they
what I
also say sick. Like, that's sick.
That's Bay Area though.
No, well,
Sick
the
was
San-
always Bay Area to me.
For me, it was only San Diego people
Yeah.
who said
Really?
I
sick.
guess it was
Maybe in Irvine,
we
like
went
at
to college
UCI,
in Irvine,
in
yeah.
college, that those are the people who would say that.
Okay, some other kind of slang terms is pluralizing Tagalog words.
Yeah.
Right? Adding an S to something that doesn't really have an S, like kaibigans.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how I call my ate. Like all my ates, like when I'm looking
Yeah.
at them, I'm like, "Hey, ats, what do you want?" Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I totally do that.
Or because usually plural would be mga kaibigan.
Yeah.
But Fil-Ams just say, oh,
Kaibigans.
by kaibigans.
Yeah.
Or kai, right? That comes from kaibigan.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't
learning
know
so much
that.
right
I'm
now.
learning.
Or like using, I guess, English grammatical ways of using past tense, but using Tagalog words. So like, oh, I How did you say it? Like, how would you say I made tae? Like in
Pooped?
slang. No, I heard like
taed?
yeah, I taed.
Oh, yeah.
The other day, or I sukad the other day.
Or like when you get baon, it's like I baoned already.
yeah,
Yeah. Like I say that all the time.
But I
Yeah.
use that in English too.
No, I did
like
too.
I dinnered.
Oh no. I thought
Did you?
meant-
I
no,
lunched.
that just sounds weird, right?
Yeah, I know.
No.
Whatever.
I'm like, wait. No, I thought you meant like I use baon all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like for lunch, I say, "Did you bring your baon?"
Yeah.
Like when we're at a party, when you're making like to go plate, I say, "Oh, we have to baon." Like I say that to non-Filipinos. Like, and I don't know if they've heard it before or whatnot, but they don't question it because they're like, "Yeah, okay."
They're probably just nodding and smiling, like, oh, like,
whatever she's saying.
words.
What else?
What about nicknames?
Nickname?
I mean, one that used to trip me up, and this is probably more Filipino in origin, was like Bunny.
What?
But it was
Like
like,
for Vanessa,
yeah, for Vanessa, because it was Bane,
Bane.
which is Vanessa.
which
Yeah.
is Bunny.
But for the longest time, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, why did he call you Bunny? Or why is your like screen name Bunny something? But your name's Vanessa. Like it took me the longest time to figure out because like
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah,
idea.
because
Yeah,
I know a
that's
couple
why-
people who go by
Yeah, that's
Bane.
why they call Vanessa, like some of her family calls her Bunny.
Oh wow.
Just Bane.
Bunny.
Vanessa.
Well, like for that, if we're going name wise, I didn't know that JR sometimes means you're a junior.
Oh really? You just thought it was the acronym the whole time?
Yeah, because I thought
Yeah.
the kid's name was JR, and I didn't realize like the kid was actually like Manuel Gonzalez Jr. And I was like,
Oh.
your name is Manuel? Like I was like, I thought your name was JR
Ah.
because we call you JR.
Or Junjun. Comes from Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just saw the light bulb right there.
The lady went from boom.
So some other ones, did you use Shota growing up?
Oh yeah, yeah.
my mom and dad did, yeah.
But like, I didn't know it was more like casual in the Philippines.
Yeah, Shota is like a boyfriend,
Yeah.
girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more, it's not serious.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But then here, I remember Fil-Ams used to like say, oh, that's like my serious Shota,
Yeah.
my serious girlfriend.
I think
boyfriend.
some
I did
people
not get
argue that it
Oh, really?
comes from like short time. Like
Oh, wow.
some people have said that, like, oh, it comes from a not serious relationship. It's just a short time. It's not. It's an opposite of being married, right? Like it's not a long time relationship. Oh, shota is a short time, right? So it's like a
Wow.
yeah. So there's a couple of other like, so that actually goes into some of the English slangs that Filipinos have come up with, and I'm learning this like as an adult, I think. So there's when you give someone a high five in Tagalog, you say appear, right? And so when I was growing up, I thought it just meant like to appear or like disappear or something like that, but it actually is like up here.
Up.
Up here.
But because of how quickly we say it, up here, and then you just go give someone a high five.
My hand appears.
Yeah. But and I'm curious about any listeners out there who's heard or used the word hirit. There's a word in Tagalog called hirit. Hirit, 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 right? Like humirit
Oh.
means like to ask for more, like to kind of impose, to it really it translates into when you're talking about humirit pa, they're like to get another.
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to figure out. I'm like, man, I wonder where that word came from. And my one of my friends said, oh, it comes from like to hit it, like a blackjack term, like give me one more card.
What?
I'm like, wait a minute, really? He goes, yeah, hit it, like get like one more,
hit,
like
yeah.
hit, like hit it.
Wow.
Like give me
Oh
one
my
more.
gosh.
I'm like, so I'm curious if anybody knows the true etymology of hit it. I think that's a slang word as well. But I mean, that comes from like a bunch of English, right?
Yeah.
It comes from like English words that we either shortened.
Shorten or
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, I never got to learn until I was in the States was like just actual English words that were used, like gimmick. Like, I don't know if you guys go, oh no,
Yeah.
gimmick.
Gimmick
Oh, yeah.
tayo.
Yeah, gimmick tayo.
Wait, what does that mean to you?
In Filipino slang, it's like, what's happening tonight? What are we doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah,
tonight?
anything going on? Like, oh, gimmick? Like, are we gonna do something, or should we go and to some shenanigans. I don't know. But I didn't know. I was like, what the heck's gimmick? You know?
Oh, I didn't like. I know the word, the term
Right.
gimmick. So,
Right.
Oh, okay.
So like getting into stuff, right? So like, what's the gimmick tonight? Or anong gimmick natin?
I am learning so much right now.
So some other Fil-Ams slang that really just kind of generated here in United States. TNT.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Tagon tago.
Yeah.
What's the cheese?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
My dad asked me that all the time.
What's the chismis?
Although I've heard other people use that because also in Spanish it's
Yeah.
Cheese
Chisme.
man.
So
Yeah, chisme.
I've heard I've heard white people use that as a thing.
Oh, really?
Like, wait, how'd you know that phrase?
Like, excuse me, that's ours.
yeah.
So I don't know how widely this was, but my friend told me about the term barky,
What is
as in
that?
your friend
Barkada?
from Barkada.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
So when I was a freshman, we had our little crew.
And you call it-
Freshman in high school or college, we call ourselves the Barkies.
There was a
Shout out to Rose Villena and Jeremiah Gallardo who listen to us and who are former Barkies.
I think there was a Filipino show called Burks that was very popular, but I think it's also short for Barkada, Burk.
Oh.
Oh, they just took out the vowels.
Yeah, and then pluralize it.
Like Burks.
Or remember the names? Like people used to use fake names. One of them was Michael Angot.
What?
You never heard that name? Michael Angot?
Oh god, no. But
Michael
yeah,
Angot.
I have now.
Or Tina?
Pai.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Tina Pa.
Or Alice Jan.
Alice Jan.
Or Gina.
Oh no, there's a lot here.
Gina Cole.
Oh no.
What?
No.
Gina
over your
Cole?
ears.
Wait, what did I just say?
Some bad stuff.
Did I? What does it mean? Gina Cole?
I don't know
I
either.
don't know. Oh my god! Why did you make me say
We
that?
didn't make you say anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
I feel like one that I made up, or maybe just because I'm bad at pronouncing things, was like Elaine knows this. I always say like shoe pow, right? Like literally like the word shoe and pow,
Or
but like
say
it's like
show my.
shoe my, but it's just like show pow and like
Yeah.
show my, like right.
Yeah.
And so when I see it spelled out like the right way, I'm like, what is that?
Oh yeah.
But it's like, isn't it shoe pow?
Well, a lot of it is. It's I don't even know actually. Shumai. It's
a food, yeah.
Yeah, but
Show my love to you. I hope you like it.
Boo. Sorry, I have issues with Hope You Like It,
Which is the real place.
which is a real place here that sells delicious Hopia, but they let Lola's cut in front of you.
So here's some things that I think there should be slang words for. Are the act of doing a Filipino accent.
So what
Oh,
would
yeah.
that
I don't know,
be?
like a verb that I don't know.
like
I just
Filipino-wise,
think- but like
okay, like
actually how Fil-Ams perform the Filipino American accent. There should be a word for that. Another thing is
Invent the word.
Well,
you can't
I can't do it. I think I can't do it on top of my head. Another thing is Filipino American generations. Like you know how like Issei, Nisei, Sansei in Japanese. Maybe something like that for Philippines. For Filipino Americans.
E-songs.
Isangs, dalawang,
tatlongs. That's my favorite one. Tatlongs.
I like that long.
Hot shorts.
Also, I think there should be a term for a white boyfriend or white husband in the family,
Potato.
but are in the family.
Oh.
I don't know.
Family potato.
I'm like we
Home
have
fries.
a home fry.
But I do want to go back to kind of Philippine slang because there's some things that we grew up with that are kind of just slang terms,
Like
right? So like jingle.
Oh yeah.
Jingle, like I gotta go pee.
Yeah.
Like where did that come from?
I have no idea.
I think it's because you're like
Magda-jingle
jingle
time.
because you're like dancing. I used to always think like
Is that how you peel it?
pee dance, like when
Wait,
you're,
also is it also for
maybe
women?
because when you go to the bathroom and you pee,
It
it's
sounds
like
like a
sounds
jingle?
like a jingle. Where you go,
Really?
When you hit,
Tagalog jingle.
I thought it was a guy thing.
I was like,
yeah, I thought it's a guy thing too.
that's like tinkle, jingle. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
maybe.
There's also a bird.
What's that?
You're a patoto. You're a bird.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty common, right? Or maybe not.
Among Filipinos. Well, who else? Like who
I mean,
others calls a bird?
The term
You-
itself
you
is
give
like
the bird to give the finger.
No, I'm saying like.
but you're saying, yeah.
No, but I mean like the term cock, right? So
Oh, duh.
it's very common, right? Maybe I'm making that
Maybe.
up. I don't know.
No, yeah, it probably maybe it comes from that.
Yeah.
And there's really there's some really how do you say, like very offensive ones?
Yeah.
Like what's slang for an Indian person?
Yeah. Yeah, Mumbai, right?
Bombay.
Mumbai.
Bombay.
Oh my gosh.
Come from
I have such a
Bombay.
weird story about
Yeah.
this.
What?
Is
I-
it gonna be racist?
No, I mean it's one of the. I mean, I don't know if my friend Mark listens to this, but
Oh, you just called him out already, though.
yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna say his last name, Mark M. No, so we grew up. One of our good friends, Shamir, Indian, born in the United States, but you know we don't have any other term for Indian if you're Filipino. Like, so he called him Bombay.
Oh my god.
And so my friend Shamir is like, "What'd you call me?" And my friend Mark's like, "Bombay," because like that's just a
no.
he just didn't know, and
Oh,
then Shamir
no.
started thinking it was like really
racist?
like a racist thing.
Yeah.
And Mark is just a very jovial dude, and he just starts laughing. Shamir like lunges at him. We're like in 6th grade, and I'm like, I've never seen my friends fight like this. He goes, "Tell me what it means. Tell me what it means."
Because
and Mark was like getting choked, and he's like, "It just means you're Indian, dude." And then it was just like one of those moments. I'm like, "Oh shit, Mumbai comes from Mumbai."
Well, no, that totally. So, my parents do that too. Like when they talk about Chinese people, they say "inchik"
Yeah.
because it's short for chink.
No.
In chick, it's the reverse. If you actually think about
Huh.
it, it sounds it's in
Is it?
chick.
Really?
Yeah, and because it's the reverse.
Like-
It's baliktad in
Oh,
chick.
my gosh,
If you
this
think
is-
about it, it's basically
No,
the-
that would be chicken.
I don't know, but
I think you're projecting. But
Oh shoot, it could be.
no,
Maybe.
I
I thought it
honestly
was like
think so.
China or something like.
In
No,
chick.
dude, like I honestly think sometimes the things Filipinos do is a little bit racist.
A little
Like,
bit. Totally racist, dude.
Yeah.
Like, also offensive is, how do you say deaf person in Tagalog?
Deaf?
Deaf.
Oh, don't they just
Oh.
like make like the word?
Wait, is this the one we're
sounding?
talking about?
Yes.
It's actually more the cleft.
The cleft palate.
The cleft palate.
Oh.
yeah,
yeah.
it's not deaf.
It's not deaf. Deaf
Oh,
is
okay,
being
my
here,
bad.
right? But,
Do it. Go.
thingy.
Do it. It's gonna be bad. What did you say?
Ngongo.
It's so bad.
So someone who can't speak, who has the
like a nasally
Nasally,
sound.
yeah.
It's called ngongo in Tagalog.
yeah, because they go like ngongo all the time. How fucked up that is. That's so fucked up.
worst. That's the worst.
You're gonna go to hell.
Oh my god. Well, no, we had when I was a kid, we had family visiting from the Philippines, and they were talking to you're so bad. They were talking to each other in Tagalog, but they were talking about a black family that was like at a table next to us, and they kept saying, "Oh, you know, like the negros."
Oh my god.
And I remember being like 9 years old, looking at them, going, "Don't."
I mean,
Don't. My dad actually had to say, "You cannot use that word. Like you cannot
You're right.
say negros here."
right.
Because I was like, "Dad, what are they doing?" They
Yeah.
can't, like I could understand what they were saying because like I understood the language they were speaking, but I was like, "Dad, they can't be calling black
Right.
people negros."
But it's funny that you say that because I remember my parents telling us that coming to the States, like things you can and cannot say, and that was one of them. And I was like, oh, okay, because like in the Philippines, if you see someone like right and
Yeah.
you say negro, like Spanish word for black, right?
Exactly.
And so, and there was like a definite like do not kind of like this is not acceptable here.
Which,
but it's
so
interesting.
I think like that's the transcendence of like language, right? Like because if you think about it, like in Latino culture, or I don't know, like, I don't want to see it, but from what I've seen, like they don't say negros anymore. They say morena instead when you're trying to describe like a darker skinned person, or like you don't say negros, you say
Yeah.
morena. So Filipinos apparently did not
Yeah.
adopt that. They still
Yeah.
say that, but.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know you have more of those, Joe, like offensive ones.
No, those are like the real bad ones.
But yeah, I remember like the whole like Bombay. Inchik is an interesting one.
I've
right?
always thought that about
Yeah.
inchik.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So just some quick other ones. My friend used to think OA was like an actual Tagalog term.
Oh, overacting.
Yeah, but it means overacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is our parents always use the word gallivant,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, I like that.
Gallivanting.
Yeah, you're always gallivanting
Yeah.
around the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? My dad, when he looks at like lechon or lechon kawale or anything fried, he always calls it, oh, that is a 911 food.
This is gonna give you a heart attack.
Yeah. There's also the propensity of Filipinos to abbreviate long terms.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Because
and
we
I
don't have
think,
time. We're so
oh.
busy.
Yeah, so like the presidents are GMA, FPJ, or not FPJ, but FVR,
So
FM.
I have a tendency of doing that at work.
Really?
Like if I have spreadsheets and whatnot, I won't write out like a faculty member's name. I will just put their acronym because it'd be like, yeah, like you know, ED or something like that. Like, and it's just like, and even if I'll write in an email, I am writing it down. For some reason, I have to catch myself and I'll retype it, but I will always put TMW MTG. So tomorrow meeting.
Oh my God, that's so long.
And I'm like, I have to write out the whole thing. And I'm like, why? If I just put TMW and MTG, you know what I'm saying?
There's also the word comelec, right? It's a shortened term for Commission of Elections.
Oh.
The comelec.
Well, that's also like how they do those like those romantic couples on like shows and movies and stuff. And they combine the
combo
names.
names.
Yeah.
Combo names, yeah.
Like Jadine for
Yeah.
James Reed and Nadine Lustre.
I don't even know who those people are.
They were in my teleserie that I was in for a while.
It's also congen,
Yeah.
right?
Consul General.
Consul General. Con-as. No, seriously.
What is con-as?
Congressional Assembly or
I was like,
something like that.
council asshole? Like, what?
There's also MILF.
Yeah.
The Moral Islamic Liberation Front.
Yeah, I
Right,
do
that one. That one.
Milf.
Yeah. I know that one. Yeah.
There's also At Iba Pa. That's a new one,
Yeah.
acronym. But it's weird. They want to shorten these things to acronyms, but like I think a lot of Filipinos like to
Still say them?
still say long words or elongate words. So one time I was talking to my cousin, and they had like a Mardi Gras in Makati or something like that, or somewhere in Manila, and she always repeated Mardi Gras. So she goes, "Oh, pupunta tayo sa Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras." What? So I'm like, dude, that makes it so long to say.
Just say Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Kala ko Mardi Gras tayo. So anyways, those are some of the things.
Basketball.
Let's get basketball tayo.
Mag-dance revolution. Sayaw.
No,
Basketball.
I
Mardi
do
Gras,
that.
Mardi Gras.
I do that now. Like my best friend had a baby, and the baby's name is Jack, and I keep calling him Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like Bong Bong and like all those other things.
Well, and my excuse was like, it's like The Incredibles. The baby's name is Jack, but I'm sure his name is actually Jack, and they
Yeah.
call him Jack. So.
Yeah.
Filipinos, yeah, they like to repeat things. A lot of Southeast Asian languages like to repeat.
Well, like
things.
folks do that for me. Like my name, like I have friends call me Lanes all the time.
Yeah.
It's the whole like S.
Yeah.
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 I call you leaners. I
Yeah.
think,
Some people call me Jober.
Well,
Joe
that's because you
Bernardo.
put it in your. like, that's
Well, I got it from my friend from Rian. From her,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. She called me Jober for the first time, and I like that.
Well, like Rianne's brother Jason. We don't call him Jason. We call him Jace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mike's.
Mike's.
No.
Mike's.
Nope.
Michael's.
Jens.
Michael.
Michael.
Well, actually, no. My little cousins, yeah, like
Mike.
my cousin Joshua, they call him Wawa.
Wawa.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
and Jeremy is
My.
my. So like, Jeremiah.
You're Yan Yan.
I am Yan Yan or Rai
Rai
in
Rai.
America. Yeah.
Wait, I want you on like tape to get your old boss to call you Yan Yan. That'd be awesome.
Well, this has been a fascinating discussion. I'm sure Elaine's brain is
Completely blown.
and ours, mine too. I think we wanted to get your thoughts on Filipino slang that you grew up with. Share your thoughts with us by emailing us or finding us on
Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram.
Yeah.
Or call us at 805-394-TFAL.
Right on. So sure. And I hope you enjoyed this episode about slang. And I think we're good. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
This Filipino American Life is produced by Michael Nailat. Our intro and outro music is by Roger Habon, aka 10.4 Raj. Resident reality checker Girly Colado, legal advisor Rianne Fajardo, and graphic design by Vincent Collyer.